Welcome to our Inspired Epreneurs team meeting. I am catching up from I don't see you on the video, Bill, but that's okay. Yeah, as long as you can hear, type it in, I guess, like you're doing. I have had a really busy month. I went to the Phoenix Lab Intensive with what we're calling now Business Labs Pro, and then I just got back from a Michael Burnoff core strength experience, which is it was like an immersion weekend. It was the longest, most mentally, physically draining weekend I've been to of all events I've ever been to. So I've really gotten my dose of intensive things this month. So, Bill, I know you wanted me to cover the lab intensive, so I'll cover that. And if you have any questions, just, I guess, type them in. When I really enjoyed this lab intensive a lot, and one of the reasons was it was very meat and potatoes. It was how-to, lots of how-to. There was some mindset stuff, but there wasn't any rah-rah. And they had a panel. The 5 co-founders were there, and they had a panel, and we could ask some questions. And of course, there were probably about 50 to 75 people there, and so it was obviously a more intimate group than some of these network marketing events, and we were able to talk to the bigwigs, and so it was. Hey, Courtney. We're just getting started. I was Bill Steinmetz is on, and he wanted to know about our the lab intensive weekend, and since I had a glitch in the recording last time, I thought I would just cover it real briefly again. So I was just telling him how we were set up, and it was an intimate group, and we were able to ask questions, and it was much more interactive. I mean, I raised my hand a whole bunch of times, and just so you know, you guys, I see the tops of your heads, but not your face, so you might want to pull your screen down a little bit so the camera can catch you.
I'm using my phone.
Oh, you're doing your phone? Oh, good.
Well,
okay.
The link was on. Okay. I guess I didn't know how to do it on my computer.
Oh, what? Could you not click on it in Facebook?
I went to your Inspired Epreneur.
Oh.
And I didn't see the link.
Oh, well, I just put it on in a private message. Did you not get the private message?
Oh. Let me do it again.
Okay, I was asked to do that. I was asked to do that last week. I was doing a Google Hangout with ladies that I did the lab intensive with, and they said just put it in the Facebook group. It makes it easier for us. So that's what I thought I would do this time.
Okay. I guess I'm going to say hang up here.
Okay.
Do it on my computer. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know how.
I don't know that you can do it from most places.
Here, hold on.
I like that picture.
Yeah, I'll just keep talking. So.
Hey, I can't hang up.
Is it?
All right.
Yeah. Okay, do whatever you have to do. If you have to keep it on the phone, that's fine. Yeah, we can see you. But so, Bill, they started talking about cashback. They started talking about the Business Labs Pro and the Cashback Authority. Randy and they were talking about the website and how the Cashback Authority is going to be an authority site, and they're putting out the articles, and they've done a Google Hangout since then talking about it, so you might have caught all of it, but it's a place that we're going to be able to send our well, actually, people are going to be driven there, and then they will use that to drive some of the traffic that is coming our way through for the co-op. So, but it's a website that's going to it has a lot of authority, and the fact that no one's ever done this before, and it's I think it's going to put us, Cashback Authority and Business Labs Pro and Doobly in the forefront. I think it's really going to push us forward as So that's going to be a really good thing, I think, for all of us. And they were talking about, then we went into the Mind-Inspired Media system. And I don't know if you guys, I know, Courtney, you're probably not geared towards the videos. I think, Bill, you said you're geared to the videos, and Juanita, I think you said you're going to do videos. In the Mind-Inspired Media stuff, or, you know, you do your YouTube video, and then the Mind-Inspired, you put your description in Mind-Inspired Media, and then below the Mind-Inspired Media is a space for GASPO. So you can syndicate your videos on 3 places, and apparently the GASPO website or spot is very strong. It's got a lot of authority. So Bobby suggested that when we're doing our videos, that we do our best write-up for GASPO, then we do our next write-up for Mind-Inspired Media, and then our write-up for YouTube. And the reason we're talking this way is I asked the question in the event. I said, I am spending hours writing descriptions. I mean, it's taking me a long time to grunt through, you know, 10 to 20 videos in a day. So he wasn't sharing this information with everybody. It's very, it's kind of being kept for the main group, but I'm going to share it with you. If you're going to do the videos and you want to syndicate on the three areas, he told us about a spinner that works, which is called wordai.com. And what it is it's you do your first article and then you submit it to wordai.com, and it spins another art using the same information. It spins it again for you. He felt it was the best spinner out there, and if you're going to do that, to use the the Turing option. And so if you get to that point and you want to use a spinner, come talk to me and I will share that information with you and walk you through it, because I've got the instructions here. And he suggested that you don't spin an article more than twice. So you'll write your first one, you'll spin it once, you'll use that. You'll use the first article for GASPO, you'll use the second article for Mind-Inspired Media, and then you spin it twice. You use that for YouTube. But that alone will save me a long, long time. I've got 108 videos on Mind-Inspired Media, and to rewrite them all, oh my gosh, it would take me forever. So I'm going to go take those articles and spin them for GASPO. But there is a cost to it. I think it's $49 a month for the level that he recommends. It's not the base level, but it's you can pay an annual fee, which is $300 something, which saves you a lot of money, but you've got to pay all of it, you know, up front. So I'm going to try that probably this week sometime, spinning some articles and stuff, but it's going to save me gobs of time, because I can handle writing an article once, but trying to write that same article 20 different ways, boy, that takes some creative juice out of me anyway. I mean, I don't think I'm not a bad writer. I'm not the, you know, I'm not my thing, but it takes a lot of creative juice out of me. So it takes a long time. So I think that's going to save me a lot of time. And so then Tony talked about email marketing, and he asked what number one factor that increases your open rate was. And he used to teach it was subject line. So your subject line was something that someone would click on first, and then who sent it to you, and then time. But the most important factor in whether someone opens your email or not is who sent it. So you need to develop a relationship with your list, and that's one of the areas I've been pretty weak. And ultimately, I think it's where you actually are going to make your money. So there are two things you need to focus on. You need to find a marketing method that you really like, that works for you, where you can bring in leads. And Courtney, I know you probably haven't heard this, and maybe you haven't heard it, Juanita. I know William's probably heard it because he's been in Empower with me. But all you really need is 30 leads a day coming in. I mean, you hear people talking about hundreds and thousands of leads coming in. You really need only 30 leads a day coming in for you to really start making money. You'll probably make money before then, but 30 a day will keep you, you can earn big money with 30 leads a day coming in. So you've got to find a way to make that 30 leads a day happen. And I'm trying to make it happen via video marketing, and I have not had extreme success, even with my 108 videos out there. I've had a sprinkling of opt-ins, maybe on one hand, maybe a little bit more than that. I haven't really counted, but I'm just forging ahead and doing it anyway. I know Christian, I asked Christian the question at the lab intensive, and I really like Christian. I mean, he will talk to you, he spends time with you, he responds to you in private message. He told me he experienced traction when he had 80 videos put up, and that was YouTube videos. Now I've got the 108 YouTube videos and 108 MIM videos, and I'm not experiencing traction. Why is that? Well, it probably is the quality of my videos, how I'm attracting people, how I'm transitioning. So I'm trying to learn to get better, and I'm just going to keep forging ahead. I really believe Christian. He said he's got a couple, I guess, has been doing the videos, and they just kept working it. I think 200 videos later, they're starting to get traction. So you just, it depends on where you are in your learning curve and how comfortable you are doing this, and I'm still working from a script, meaning I'm not. When I'm doing these videos, I'm not necessarily sounding scripted. Coming across naturally and just talking like I'm talking right now, I'm not sure I'm doing that in my videos. I have to think about what I'm saying, and it's a little bit stilted, and I don't have as much expression. I'm kind of deadpan, and so I've got to learn to incorporate all these things, and it takes skill. So whether you go LinkedIn. And I think the cheaper ways to go are LinkedIn and the video marketing. And then, I tried running some ads for the Business Labs Pro. I ran a Facebook ad and I ran a LinkedIn ad. I got very little clicks and opt-ins. So I'm obviously not connecting with people. And so I'm thinking with Facebook, I'm just going to let that go for a while. I'm not going to really, I'll come back to it. I know enough about Facebook. I could run an ad if I had to, but I just haven't. I'm going to work on the video marketing and the LinkedIn marketing in particular. I'm going to, and I may not do the LinkedIn for a little while or see what I can fit in with the video, but I'm going to focus on the video marketing because
without doing a Facebook ad, can we use any of the banners or ads that they have in Business Lab Pro?
If you have a blog or a website, you can.
But there's no way to put them on Facebook.
If you take, I tried it. If you take the code that they have for the banner ad and you put it on your Facebook page, it takes you to their capture page. You don't see the banner.
Okay.
So, having had a blog, I know that you can put those things on the blog. You can put them on a website, and eventually you may want to go that route, but. And I did have a blog, and it's a good way to go. I mean, if you do a triangle approach where you post things on Facebook, you send them to your blog, you take them from your blog, and you take them to your capture page, or you send them to another, your Facebook. You get this triangle. You're creating a viral effect, and it helps you syndicate your stuff. And I'm not using a blog right now, so I'm just what I'm focusing on are the videos and learning email marketing. And you may want to, I don't know if you guys have opted into Carla Silver's stuff, but I really like the way, I like her, she has a blog, and I like her approach with email marketing. So you might want to try and, if you go to carlasilver.com is her website, her blog, and, I'm kind of her. And I've heard, I mean, I've been listening, I've been doing a lot of reading and research. This pitch anything, Randy Schrum, and I know he's brought it up since we got back from the Phoenix event. Randy Schrum brought up a book that is very informative and helpful with marketing, and it's called Pitch Anything. Hey guys, it's called Pitch Anything, and it is by Oren Klaff. So it's OrenKlaff. I downloaded it on my Audible, but you know, it's very, very helpful because what you're learning. In fact, I was taking notes. I've taken a lot of notes in that book. We have three parts. We process things three ways in our brain. The first is our croc brain, which is the first part of our brain that developed, and he calls it the croc brain. So it's the primitive brain that we approach everything with first. It's when you meet someone, you come with an approach, or he calls it frames. So frames come together, and one is an alpha, and the alpha takes over. They collide, the frames collide, and one takes over. And you can gain control of a frame with the way you approach something. And he has learned, he does investments, he pitches deals to investors, and he does high-level investments, you know, millions of dollars worth of deals. And he's learned, you know, basically someone has you've got a 20-minute window to present your deal. And you don't want to do it with facts and figures. You think you're presenting facts and figures and features and benefits, or features, and you think that the person on the other end is receiving it that way, but they're not. They're receiving it as a crock, and it's, are you threatening me, or are you a friend? Are you giving me something I want? Are you? And if it's not enticing, it's not novel, it's not exciting or intriguing, the crock will shut down and go away. So you'll lose them either in the front, or if you go beyond your 20 minutes, you can lose them. So he talks about creating a story, a narrative, and having intrigue in the story, and that attracts the crock. And it also, you talk about the story so that you're the hero, you're the prize, and you talk about obstacles you've overcome, which shows him, number one, you're a real person, how you deal with obstacles. He learns to trust you. And that's how you approach people. Even with, does HBL enable us to implement automatic email campaigns driven by conditional logic, so each email is determined. I didn't catch it all. Determined by what? Let's see. I don't know where they come up. Let me see if I can find comments here. A sec. HBL does have. Well, you know, I think the let's see, questions and answers. I'm trying to see if they're I was disabled. How do I enable it? How do I enable it? Okay. Cameraman. I'm trying to control room. Let me see here. Control. William, I don't see where your questions are. It says my question and answers are disabled. So, oh, 400. Oh, there we go. Okay, I found it. Just so you guys know, I don't know if you have a toolbox on your left side, or it might just be me since I'm running the Hangout. But on the left side at the top, there's a little box with some lines, and that's what I clicked to get William's comments. And I'm telling you that just for future reference, if you're going to run a Google Hangout or whatever.
I see what you're talking about, the toolbar.
Yeah, and so at the top, there's a little square with
right.
lines.
And I see his question.
Yeah, okay. So does HBL enable us to implement automatic email campaigns a la Frank Kern driven by conditional logic, so each email is determined by the prospect's behavior to the prior one? I don't know, William. I know that Tony Rush has written a lot of the emails, and I think they're good, but I haven't had any conversions on my list. But my list also wasn't very responsive. I've gotten a few opt-ins since HBL. Well, I bought some traffic, and I have gotten a few opt-ins since HBL started. but I haven't had any conversions. So I think it's my problem with learning how to communicate with my list. And I think one of the things I'm going to do besides learning to communicate better and learning some of these methods, like this pitch anything, and watching people like Carla Silver, and I'm reading The Invisible Sales Machine, which by Ryan Deiss, which I thought was very, very helpful, and pulling someone into your segmenting emails so that you offer a lead magnet. Now, the lead magnet might be something like in a Home Business Labs, in our back office where we have our sales funnels, there's that the best businesses for 2015, the book that Randy Shrum wrote. Do you know what I'm talking about? Courtney, do you know?
No.
If you go into Home Business Labs, which is the Doobly version of Business Labs Pro now. So
Yeah.
people who buy into Business Labs Pro, and if they're Doobly, they will get that. In the sales funnels, there is a capture page, which is the best businesses of 2015.
Oh, I've
and someone opts into that, they get a download, which is the book, an ebook or special report that Randy Shrum wrote about businesses in 2015. So that's a lead magnet. It's free. It's a piece of value. Lead magnets. Like I came up with, I know you opted in at one point, Courtney, and I don't know about you, Juanita, but I had a list of tools that marketers need to be successful online. And that was a lead magnet that I came up with. And it can be anything. It can be a video like we offer through our capture pages. It can be a blog. It can be an article. It can be a lot of things. But your audience has to sense it as a piece of value, and then you can use that to entice them to opt in. But I haven't had many conversions, so I have to learn how to connect better. To give them value to the point where they trust me and want to do business with me, and that's part of the skill that we have to learn as online marketers. And the good news is, if we learn it, you can apply it to anything. But it's a real valuable thing to learn. And so I'm watching people like Tony. Tony's a great copywriter. He really is. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, he came out with an email yesterday. He was writing a story about being in a hotel room and the emergency situation arose,
Yeah,
and then his capture page leads you to, I believe he's probably, I didn't opt in, and I probably will, but I think it's leading you to a prepper thing, which is what Randy's doing. So I've noticed that these guys are paying attention to what Randy's doing, because Randy's a very successful marketer. And they're all watching each other and they're learning from each other. And Tony's a great copywriter, but he's using Randy's stuff, and he's written the story in the form of what Orrin Clapp is talking about. The intrigue. You're going to have, you're the center, you're the hero. You've got a risk, danger. And just today I was listening to him, and he was saying it's in the structure of a man in the jungle. It's a difficult situation. So that's just a metaphor for a really difficult situation that you've experienced. And the beasts are attacking. And that's a metaphor for conflict and tension. And then the question in the croc's brain is, will he get to safety? So this is intrigue, and that you're capturing the attention of the croc brain. And then you hold him there, short of safety. You hold the intrigue frame. So what Orrin does is he'll hold them there. He'll stop the story right there, go into his pitch, and so the croc is waiting for the resolution of the story. So it keeps his attention. So he does his pitch, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you the rest of the story now." And now he tells the rest of the story, and that's the resolution, and that's where the croc So you get the man to the edge of the jungle. There's no resolution. You go into your pitch, or you finish your pitch, and your pitch doesn't necessarily include a lot of facts and figures. I mean, it includes. He tells you in the book what it should include, and so I find it really helpful, and he tells you how to structure the story. So, and you're the prize, you're the hero, and so I keep calling him the croc. He calls him the target. The people that you're presenting to, you're the prize. They want to do business with you because you're the hero, you're the prize. So it's kind of basic. I've kind of given you a few bullet points, but there's a lot more to it. But I found it very, very helpful. And if you can write stories like that and put them in the order that Brian Dice suggests, then and segment your list, we'll have a lot more success doing what we're doing. I have not. Oh, okay, Juanita, you said, oh. Okay, so Juanita had to go.
Yeah.
So, oh, you have to go now? Juanita?
Yeah. It's about a 20-minute drive into my daughter's house, and he's waiting for me to take a shower and get ready to go.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Well, I'm glad you joined us for a little while. Good luck with the graduation.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye. So anyway, let me see what else I got here. Yes, William, I'm trying to. So Tony talked about email marketing, and I thought it was the most complete email marketing that he had done. It was good. And Christian mentioned how he knew when he's had extreme success for the last 2.5 years, but his backstory was he had been an entrepreneur for many years, so he had some experience with success. He got online. He knew the ending of the story. He knew he was going to be successful, so he came across with confidence, and it's confidence that is very attractive. So you have to decide you're going to be successful, and just come across with that kind of confidence when you're talking to your list, when you're talking to your team, when you're talking to, you just have to know you're going to do it until you're successful, and you come across with that kind of confidence. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so that's that. I'm just looking to see if I've Bill, I don't know if you have taken a look at the Business Labs Pro, but if you're going to be marketing via an affiliate, they have the micro offers in the back office of the Business Labs Pro, and they have the Facebook micro offer, which is kind of like a tripwire. A tripwire is a low-priced item that pulls someone into a funnel because it has value, and if someone pays for it, then that just makes them more receptive to your other offers. And Courtney, I don't know if you've heard this since you've been associated with this business, or once someone pays for something, they're much more likely to pay for something else. So getting them into a micro offer or a tripwire situation just makes them more likely to buy in the future, or even immediately. They say once someone buys something from you, immediately turn around and ask them for another sale, because they've got I don't know if it's adrenaline. It's a hormone that's released when you buy, and you're just more receptive to buying again. So, that's something but if you're going to market the Business Labs Pro, which I'm finding helpful for marketing to your list, because as Randy and these 5 guys said, Doobly is our business, but Business Labs Pro is the pick and the shovel. It's the tools that you need to do the business, or any business really. It's really for anybody, whether it's brick and mortar, online marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever. It's really the picks and the shovels for being online. So I'm finding it. For example, I went to my Business Network International meeting that I haven't been to in a long, long time. I handed out cards about this LinkedIn thing because I know how important LinkedIn is to, or is perceived to be important to the businessman, the brick and mortar who is not online. And a lot of them are just scared to get online, don't know how to do it, have had bad experiences with starting websites or blogs because they pay a lot of money to a programmer or designer, and then it doesn't work to keep doing things with their blog or their website. They don't have success with it. They don't pull in traffic, and they don't know what to do, and so they're frustrated. And so I think this Business Labs Pro will appeal to people like that. And so I'm using it to talk to my warm market and and offer to my list. No one's really taken me up on it yet, but I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get better at talking to a list. John Lavinia talked about solo ads. Let's see here. Randy Schrum talked about how to build your list, and he talked about how to. You can type a search into Google called "powered by a Weber," and in quotes put LinkedIn, and that will give you people who are in a Weber who are, I don't know if associated in LinkedIn or associated or trying to market on LinkedIn. Anyway, it gives you marketers who are looking for what you've got to offer, or for a LinkedIn product or a Facebook product. You can do the same thing with Facebook, powered by a Weber, in quotes, Facebook, or Courtney, in your case where you have GetResponse, powered by GetResponse, in quotes, LinkedIn, or powered by GetResponse, in brackets, Facebook. Or you could probably put video marketing. So that's a way to do a search in Google to find people who you can market to. So you could, or what he said is you can subscribe to the email list owner of the lists that come up, and then find out how often they email their list and how hard they hit their list, and watch them over the month and what kind of things they promote if they know how to market. If they don't know how to market, then you could approach them. Hey, would you? Could I pay you, or would you send out an email from me to your list for something like this LinkedIn micro offer or the Facebook micro offer? And if they, I forgot what he said about how much to charge, but you could. He said it's a gold mine as far as finding people who might send out your email to their list. It would be a cheap way to go rather than buying solo ad traffic, or so it's a way to build a list. Randy is really a master at figuring out how to build a list inexpensively. So he talks about growing your list in LinkedIn, and he actually pays a guy. And he has a website here, spreadyourvoice.com. But he pays a guy to grow his groups. So he's not, once he starts a group, he's letting somebody else, a guy, and this guy is in Colombia or South America somewhere. But he said he's good. And he grows the groups for Randy, so Randy doesn't have to do that. So that's something that you would, what do you call it, source out. You would, when you have some income coming in, you would pay someone to grow your group. So Tony covered 9 email marketing myths. Let me see here. Myth 1, 64% say the reason they opened the mail is because of the sender's name. I mean, the myth is that they opened it because of the subject, but it's because of the sender. Myth 2, longer subject lines. Well, shorter subject lines reveal more of the email. Subject line works better, but they're finding that longer lines can work better. Longer subject lines. Myth 3, mailing too often increases unsubscribes. Statistics show that your subscribers are more likely to unsubscribe or mark your mail as spam if you only mail periodically. That's one thing I have not, well, I've not been so good at. I've fallen off of emailing, and a lot of people that I'm listening to say email every day. Now I notice that our founders in HBL aren't necessarily emailing every day. So, you know, it's something but Matt Trainer, in his email marketing training, he's saying he found that his sales went up when he started emailing every day. So, you know, when you email every day, if you're giving value, you're developing that relationship and keeping, you know, you're staying in front of people's minds. Myth 4 was send your emails in the morning. He said if you send them between 5 in the afternoon, somehow people are more brutal in the morning. They'll delete emails, and in the afternoon they're more receptive to reading your emails. So 2 to 5 in the afternoon is a good time to send your emails. The younger the audience, the more likely they're reading on a mobile device. I think that's a myth. Oh, what they're finding is that the older generation, the baby boomers, are starting to read a lot of their emails on mobile devices. Myth 6, if someone has opted in, they're a loyal reader. That's not true. In fact, 25% of your list will expire every year as the readers switch jobs, the email providers, and the length of time gets longer. Actively delete your subscribers. Tony recommends every 90 days. You can segment your list, and in 90 days send out a message and say, this is the last email you received from me, and if you don't want to continue, if you want to continue, then hit this button. If you don't want to continue, then I'll you can then subscribe or I'll unsubscribe. And that's to help your open rate, because if your open rate isn't good enough, then the service providers, email service providers, will mark your stuff as spam, and it'll go into the spam folder. So, and one thing that is interesting, Tony suggested that in your emails, and this is probably in everything, in your articles and anything you write, that you should write for the grade level of 4th grade. And how do you know whether you're writing for 4th grade level? Well, there is a website online called readability-score.com. And he said, run everything you write through it. And that will give you the grade level. For example, he wrote the first paragraph of the Gettysburg Address in that website, and I think it was I don't know, our society today. So I mean, if it's that complex or that high level, they won't read it. So you want to keep things really simple. And he talked about authors like James Patterson, how he writes things in short sentences. He writes them really basic. He has a lot of white on the page. He has short paragraphs, maybe 2-sentence paragraphs, 3-sentence paragraphs at the most, and that's a good way to write your emails. So he talks about planning the day that you're doing something is crisis management. Planning your whole week ahead at the beginning of the week is proactivity. And he said that email marketing conversions pick up at the end of a series because you're kind of warming them up. And this Oren Klaff also talks about, and I've heard about this, if you can give a time frame to your emails, the sale goes off at midnight, or you've got until Friday to make a decision on this. People, that sense of urgency really helps create a sale. So anyway, and then I went to the Michael Burnoff thing. I'm going to cut this off at 10:30. I won't go any later, but I went to the Michael Burnoff Core Strength, and it was a mind-altering event. we were up late till 1:30 at night. I mean, we were there till 1:30 at night, so I didn't even make it to bed until late. And then we got up early. I was sharing a room with 3 other ladies, so we had to rotate through the bathroom. But he started fairly early, and he gave you meals. He asked that there not be any drinking during the weekend. That because he was shifting your mind, and he was talking about small shifts, but he was doing some really incredible stuff. He would get down to the core of what was hanging people up. In a lot of cases, it's the way we're raised that gives us blocks here and there. Some of it is society, some of it is parenting, some of it is, but a lot of people are hung up on things like the right to be. They weren't given love or told that they had a right to exist in their lives, and that gave them major blocks, and where they didn't feel they were worthy to be successful, or people didn't feel like they had the right to need, meaning they couldn't ask for help. And I know in my case where I was raised, you didn't ask for help, you learned how to do it on your own. So that makes you very autonomous, and that can be a stumbling block because you don't ask for help. Whereas in the if you have a large sense of the right to need, you ask too much for help. Or there was another thing I'm forgetting, and then there was the right to be to your own sexuality, and it didn't have to do with sex. It had to do with being comfortable in your skin as a woman or as a man. And apparently, because of the way we're raised, and some of us get mixed messages, or we're raised without learning about the birds and the bees, or we don't have a wholesome view of our sexuality. It causes major problems in life. So what we found out in looking at this room of 400, we all had certain areas where our lack was greater. And to go beyond, it was kind of a revelation, and to go beyond, you have to address your lack or know where your weaknesses are. So that was really interesting. And then he did some mind-altering things where some people had blocks because they had abuse in their background from their parents or spouses, or some major traumatic things happened to them when they were younger, and he was pulling that out of people. I mean, we weren't digging up the past, but yet you had to figure out where you were, what was your stumbling block, what was keeping you from being successful. And so he brought up a couple of people who had been raped or sexually abused or had major mental things going on, and they were blubbering on stage, and then he would just walk them through a mental exercise where they were assigning a funny picture to that event, or he walked them through an exercise where that event would gradually fade and disappear, and he would replace it with something else. And by the time he was done, it took 5 or 10 minutes. By the time he was done, they were walking off the stage smiling. And when he brought up the event that sent them off blubbering, they would be smiling or laughing about it. So he did that, I don't know, a handful of times, and you got the sense, well, he knows how to shift the images in your mind. And the images in our mind we hang on to, we don't have to hang on to them. If we learn how to shift these things ourselves or learn from others, they don't have to be our stumbling blocks. In a lot of cases, we have to our past, which is our stumbling block. So it was illuminating, fun, hard, and interesting, a physically exhausting weekend. So it was interesting. Anyway, that's my data dump. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Could you talk about LinkedIn mini campaign? If you're emailing every other day, why not just blog the information and send email alerts with the links to your blog? You could do that, William. I'm not blogging right now, so I'm having to. And I think even if you're doing the LinkedIn mini campaign, I took the swipes directly from the back office in Business Labs Pro, and I copied them into my, and I showed Courtney and Juanita how to do this last week. We had a Google Hangout last week, and copied it into my Aweber, and then scheduled them out so they went every day for 5 days. There's 5 swipes for the Facebook mini offer, the LinkedIn mini offer, and then there's 5 swipes for it's really the video marketing, the MIM portion, but they describe it as a marketing system. So I'm going to be doing that this week. But I'm sending out emails every day, and the 2 things too about sending emails. I mean, those are kind of impersonal. They're really short emails. They're not developing much of a relationship, but they're capitalizing on maybe a need someone has. I don't know if you saw that offer, .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. I think we talked about it, William. But I think his book, I haven't gotten his book yet, but I think that Invisible Selling Machine, that talks about, I think that covers email marketing. That really was a missing piece for me. That and Pitch Anything, I find those things really, really helpful. And I think I'm going to have to read those things over and over and over until I get my own system and I get better at connecting and telling stories and backstories. It's the stories that sell. The features and the benefits back up the stories, but it's the stories that sell. So you want to tell stories about why you are doing what you're doing, and try and use intrigue and the methods that Warren Claff is talking about. So it's really a story. And I found on Carla Silver's website, she has a thing called 12 Mind Hacks that she came across, and I've downloaded it, and I think I'll send that to you guys. It's called Master the Art of Persuasion. Really short little nuggets, 12, and easy, but it's helpful for how to persuade. So we're in the art of persuasion. That's what we're doing, and the better we get at it, the better, the more success we're going to have in our sales, in our business. So did I? Yes, book is coming. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, William, I know you and I talked about it. If you could do that triangle thing, and these emails are really, really short. So what you might want to do is, use the blog and just direct, instead of using the capture page link that these emails are using, is send them to your blog, and then from there have them opt into your capture page for Business Labs Pro. So, do Vic Strusshouse's method of the triangle, the golden triangle. So, I think that would be good for you. Courtney, okay. Yeah, I do see Russell being synergistic.
Oh, I gotta get this.
Call from
Okay.
Little.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Okay,
Call
sorry.
from Chris Little.
Oh, we'll talk a little later, Ann, okay?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right, bye. Yeah, I do see Russell being synergistic with BLP. Well, for example, I mean, one thing is Randy Schrum, I think, was the creator of the capture pages in BLP, and he's using ClickFunnels. And so I was able to create, in fact, if, William, I don't know if you've bought ClickFunnels yet. You probably have. I know I can share ClickFunnels people that come in under my link, and I'll be able to share it with you, but I've created capture pages. I recreated Randy's capture pages in ClickFunnels. I was able to do that. And so I'm sending people I'm not using the link in the swipes in BLP, I'm using my capture pages and ClickFunnels, and then sending them to the sales video in BLP. So, and Randy suggested you do that if you want to capture your leads. BLP, these 5 guys talked about a lot of affiliate marketers will pay you for the first sale, and then they don't pay you for any more sales, or they'll keep you on for a little while, or even a couple of years, but then they'll eventually drop you off of. So even though you brought in the traffic, you won't get paid for anything more. And they're not planning on doing that. They're planning on having cookies follow your you bring in so that you get credit for the sales indefinitely. But he said if you want to capture the leads so that you can market any offer, then you'll want to create your own capture pages and then send them to BLP. So if you are in ClickFunnels, I will send you those capture pages if you want. So let me know if and I'll if you're in ClickFunnels, and I'll see if I can send you the capture pages. Okay. I think I've covered pretty much everything. So is that ever? Do you have any other questions? I will call it a wrap unless you have any other questions, and I wish you a great week. So take care, William.